Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show, live from the South Texas TV studio. I'm Ash. He's Carter. He's Brent. We're here, and we're up and at 'em and alive this morning. How are you, man?
Good. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to the traveling public. Be safe on the roads.
Absolutely. Don't forget daylight savings time.
Is this Ranger blue?
I don't think so. It's more,
Will it suffice, though?
I guess.
Okay, I'm just...
You got a hat that says Texas. That's close enough.
You've got to get on the bandwagon. The Rangers have more than
Is
double
this Rangers Road Gray?
Absolutely. That is the herringbone Road Gray that they're so famous for. Rangers easily doubling their fan base this offseason.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Like, Astros fans have been around since the tumultuous years of losing 100 games a season. But now the Rangers, the darlings of baseball, always so likable. Guys like Garcia, such a pleasant young man.
Did it without him yesterday.
Yeah. Well, they did it with some bats and some good pitching. Evaldi, I like to have that Evaldi kid.
Yeah. Boy. So did everybody. How the Rangers win him.
They spent $4 billion on their payroll this last year between Scherzer and Evaldi and DeGrom.
Well, they traded for Scherzer, though, similar to the Astros getting Verlander out of the Mets, right?
Dollars per innings pitched. Nobody spent more money than the Texas Rangers.
Imagine if DeGrom comes back healthy.
Oh, they could be really good.
Or
they could go 80 and 82.
I think they're on the other trend. I think
so?
next year's a two-horse race, and if Seattle continues their upward trend, AL West could become what the AL East was.
Yeah.
For most of the last 10 years, the best division in baseball. But congrats to the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, they deserve
World Series champs. They really showed their worth and their mettle. And I think yesterday's game was the best game of the series outside of the exciting finish of Game 1. But I think yesterday's game was a true fall classic. It was tightly contested until late when the Rangers broke it open. But it was a 1-0 game. It was scoreless till 7.
Yep.
And they got 4 in the 9th. Alec Thomas was a little bit beside himself in center field when a ball that was hit kind of skipped past the heel of his glove and rolled to the fence and allowed at least one extra run to score. I wouldn't call him – it wasn't a Bill Buckner-esque moment, even though I joked about it, but it did allow an extra run, and then they ended up giving up a 2-run home run, I think, after that. Anyway, so it didn't matter. Simeon hit one.
You know that Matt Williams was a former ball player. If you read that comment, you'll be impressed.
That's a different Matt Williams.
You'll still be impressed.
Yeah. No, Corey Seager, MVP, becomes just the 4th player ever. Matt posted that. Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, and Reggie Jackson, the other 2-time World Series MVPs. That's pretty good company.
You know, the only other time you'll hear his name in the same sentence is if they say, that Corey Seager, he ain't no Reggie Jackson, Sandy Koufax, or Bob Gibson.
Hey, he hit .318 in the postseason.
He did a nice job.
Had a bunch of bombs.
Yeah, he's a fine player. He was a great player for the Dodgers, and that made him hateable. But he almost redeemed himself with me by playing so well. There you go.
Yeah,
he did good.
Gilbert Ramon, good morning.
Hey, Gilbert.
Says, as you know, I've been a real fan for 43 years.
Yes, sir, you have. You've been a Rangers fan for years and years. And
be small, happy.
I'm sure
busted out the bottle of champagne last night.
Did he?
Yeah.
What? Hello, Bill Posey.
Oh, Lord. Junior Samples, good morning. Amanda Smith-King, Carrie Bump, Bobby Leister. Says it's easy for the Rangers to win when you play a minor league team. The World Series was Astros versus Rangers.
That's fair. I mean, I do think the winner of the ALCS was the 2 best teams in baseball. Yes, I can go with that.
Scott Tomko.
Proof positive being that the Astros swept the Diamondbacks in their last series.
Marvin Mickish, good morning. Karen Murray, Jordan Glass, Lisa Poole, Will Vincent, Tammy Keeling, Scott Tomko is happy this morning as well. Stephanie Condi, Rena Scherer.
Congrats, Scott.
Yep.
He's been a fan a long time.
Judge Posey, Randy Langston, good morning. Stephen Kidder, Ricky King, Roy Gutierrez. I know if Joe Gomez checks in, he's a big Rangers fan. He might still be sleeping.
A couple of things to think about. A lot of folks became Rangers fans when the Astros were so ignorant, when Dr. John McMullen was so ignorant in his dealings with Nolan Ryan. And when Nolan Ryan left here, and I remember hearing people on talk radio in Houston, well, he's roughly a 500 pitcher all time. And
well, they were trying to justify,
and they were
as
wrong.
a fan, that his better days were behind him.
And they may have been, except that the big Texan got pissed. And when the big Texan got upset and got on the bike and started warming up with a football and doing the things that he did, he went up there and cemented his legendary status, became the John Wayne of baseball by beating up Robin Ventura.
Yep.
And through his, sixth and seventh no-hitters up there.
Crazy.
5,000 strikeouts, 300 wins, all the superlatives that make him the greatest pitcher in the history of the Texas Rangers. Well, you throw that in, and then you throw in that this year that the Texas Rangers were the only team in Major League Baseball to not celebrate Pride Month. And you've got to just give them a little love for kind of standing by who they are. I kind of have some respect for the Rangers. Now, that said, go Astros.
Mark Kurtz says, I think John Smoltz still thinks that D-backs have a chance to come back. People hate on Smoltz. I think he's probably one of the best analysts for breaking down games. I really like when he starts talking about when he starts getting into pitch sequences and how when pitchers, what they should do or what they didn't do.
Right.
And
it's uncanny really how accurate he is and how he'll say, well, let's see, last inning he started off with a fastball and he got a single into right out. I'll bet you he comes back with a breaking ball right here. And out he goes on, there it is. There's the slider. Yep. He's pretty smart, and he was a really, really fine player. But at least he's not Joe Buck.
No. Cody Bauman, good morning. Buddy Stavanoa checking in. Jarrett McCrugan, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins.
Hello, everybody.
So congrats. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the fine folks at AT Deerlam Hay Feed and Ranch Services. Stop on by for all you need. Whether it's your ranch, whether it's your home, whether it's your garden, your pets, livestock, other animals, they've got you covered at Deerlam Feed.
Going to be sunny today, 40 degrees in Victoria under clear skies, heading to a high today of only 71.
Nice.
Should be a nice day to do some of the stuff you want to get done.
You'll be able to shed that jacket and the Uggs a little bit later on.
Great day to get back into Veracruz. The full menu available, no caldo, but the full menu available on post-caldo Thursday.
Michael Jolly checking in. Good morning to you, Michael. I haven't seen you check in for a while, so good to see you're back.
Welcome back, Michael.
U.S. infant mortality rate on the rise in 2022, 5.60 infant deaths per 1,000 live births, 3% higher than 2021, which was also a little bit higher, and that's...
Thank you, COVID vaccine.
That's where I go. Even though kids weren't getting the vaccine, moms and dads were.
Babies are dying.
And you have to wonder if there is...
What else changed? 21, 22, the rates start climbing. What else changed?
Lack of
America?
Access to hospitals and doctors because of COVID restrictions. I don't know, but blame COVID, but we're never going to know if the vaccine played a role in it. But it's interesting because in reading the story in the Epoch Times, they actually talk about how infant mortality rates, and the U.S. is the worst in the 13 developed nations in this study, according to the Commonwealth Fund. In 2020, it was 5.4 per 1,000 live births. Second place was Canada at 4.5, and you would think with Canada and the U.S., we've got the best healthcare system in the world. Well, apparently not if our babies are dying, right? Norway has a rate of 1.6 per 1,000 live births, so there you go.
You got to wonder this, though, Ash, and I do think there's a trend. Okay, so look, the last time that mortality went up was the 2001-2002 period. Other than that, it had gone consistently every year down from 2002 to 2021. The rate went down. That's obviously a trend. It's obviously something worth tracking. 2 decades. COVID hits. People start getting the vaccine. It starts going up in 21. It goes up again in 22. If you don't tie the two together, I can't help you. Please stay off our streets. But on top of that, you have to wonder if the U.S. just does a better job of tracking every single birth than other countries.
Nah, probably not.
No, because it just seems like it just seems very difficult for me to grasp that, we're 13th out of
13?
Yeah, come on. I just don't buy that. I don't.
I do. We're 20th out of 23 whatever developed nations in education.
No, that's a whole different story. But
I don't know. They may go hand in hand.
Yep.
When you don't get prenatal care. And there's the issue. We have so many illegal aliens that come over to have babies and they've had no prenatal care until they get here. But I do wonder if the COVID vaccine, I mean, that's kind of where I went when you look at the 2 years involved in this study. Interesting point in this study, too, according to the author of the study, Neil Miller. He says, there are a lot of places that do not give vaccines until children are older. And those nations do not have the infant mortality rate that the U.S. does, such as the hepatitis B and the tuberculosis vaccine. We give them here shortly after birth. And the author of the study says, well, the immune system is immature. It may increase vulnerability to serious adverse reactions and deaths because they don't have the immune system to deal with the vaccination. So certainly an interesting study.
Yep. No
Daniel
doubt
Wade
about
White
it.
might want to look into that one. Jimmy Driscoll, good morning. Stuart Martin. Junior Sample says George Santos survived expulsion vote by the GOP. I really don't care about George Santos, to be honest. It just doesn't. I could care less. The voters knew what they were getting when they voted him in up there. I mean, with all the shysters that are already in Washington, D.C.,
the shysters.
GOP should be happy they've got a Republican in New York, because they probably won't if they get rid of him.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a Republican in New York.
Lee Zeldin's pretty good.
You don't want to do something we don't do. Ash and I joke all the time about being an open forum and helping people and doing the things we do, but most of the time, people that advertise with us pay to advertise with us. It's how we stay on the air. And it's not a greed thing. It's just how we stay on the air.
Well, because we got to pay your mom, who then pays our rent.
Yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't for Mom, we'd be out of here. But I visited with a young lady yesterday who was just so polite and so appreciative. Look, that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. Wow.
And her name is Jasmine. I'm going to give you her phone number. You're going, okay, why?
Why?
Anyway, this Saturday, November the 4th, at the Harry Haffernick Recreation Center, that's the Breckenridge.
Yep.
They're in Edna. They're having dinner and a gospel concert. Tickets are $40. The group is Endless Highway. And it looks like a good time. Very professional invitation, flyer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God, you bring such value.
Always.
Nux. But this Saturday evening, 6 p.m., Endless Highway is going to perform at the Harry Haffernick Center. Dinner and a gospel concert. Tickets are $40. You can go to inabundanceevents.simpletix.com, or you can just call Jasmine at 361-308-0684. Now, the way this came about is one of our listeners is friends with Jasmine. And she called, and she was so polite, young lady. Mr. Carter, are you the guy that does the radio program with Mr. Ash? Yes, I am. I thought, I'm with the IRS. No. But instead she said, well, I have a friend, and she mentioned a name, and she said, would it be possible? He said it would be possible, probably for you to advertise for our event. So if you want to have a good family evening, dinner, a gospel concert, $40 ticket, call Jasmine at 361-308-0684. 4. That's this Saturday night at Brackenridge, which is a good place to go for an event.
There you go.
There you go. That's our open forum
Public
gift of the
service.
month public service.
There we go.
Good luck, Jasmine.
Diane Tippett checking in.
Hello, Diane Tippett.
Should we take our first break?
We could.
We're there. We're pretty much there, so let's do it.
Where do you want to start?
Wherever you want to start.
Atzenhofer.com. South Texas tradition since 1926.
Not the website, the dealership.
They're stacking them deep, selling them cheap, selling cars like candy bars just down the road from higher prices on the Navarro Motor Mile.
If you don't buy it today, they'll be there tomorrow. The flags are flying. People are buying.
That's right. You could buy it somewhere else, but then you'd have to drive it. Go buy Atzenhofer today. See why all those corny sayings have been around for almost 100 years. Tommy Taylor and his team of professionals, they do everything. Paint and body work, new tires, new windshields, new wiper blades, inspections. They do it all. Routine maintenance on all makes and models. Go by and see Atzenhofer today. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends, date to be determined. You will have a great time. Come out. It'll probably be the 3rd Thursday of November, which will probably be
The week before Thanksgiving.
second night, 16th. The 16th sounds like a good night to me. Is that the day?
I'm looking right now. Let's see if that is the day.
I think it is.
It is, yes.
Why don't
So
we
2
shoot
weeks.
for the 16th?
Yep, the 16th of November.
Let's do it. It's such a blast. And
We always
by
have
the
a good
way,
time.
Lisa Poole keeping the string alive of our people winning a chunk of the money every time. Armor Air 579-0966. Reach out to Ryan and his group.
They do duct cleaning as well. If you're looking to get your ducts clean.
They can get all the dust off your heat strip.
I had a condenser that went out. They fixed that for me on the
Easy
weekend.
stuff. Saving you money over the long haul. $5 a pound of hamburger meat.
And they've got a
Chopping
steak
block.
sale going on right now, so get to the chopping block today. The food truck is open as well. Their trailer's there. Sean Neely is going to be cooking up great things. I'm not sure exactly what's on the menu today. Do you know what's on the menu today?
I do not, but let me give you this one.
Okay.
Chopping block, free sausage or steak with purchase. Spend $50, get a free pack of sausage. Spend $100 and get a free steak while the supplies last.
There you go.
That's from the 2nd to the 4th. Also, yes, $5 a pound, 80-20,
Yep.
fresh ground
Yep.
hamburger meat. Get
Awesome
by there
stuff. Great
and
for your
do it.
chili. You don't need chili meat for chili. You could use ground beef.
I use ground beef
I
all
do
the
too.
time. Yeah.
I like it better.
Yeah.
I like the consistency of it and
Now,
the texture in my mouth.
so dumb question.
No dumb question. Just,
Okay, if
as
you-
one of my profs said in college, there's no such thing as dumb questions. Just dumb people that ask questions, which I
If
thought
you
was funny.
take what-
And nobody got offended at
No.
at that time. If a professor said that today,
You're probably racist.
out of work because nobody has a sense of humor anymore.
If you take what we call chili meat, you go into a box store and it's just bigger chunks of meat, right?
Yeah,
If you take that and grind it up, does it become hamburger meat?
I think so.
Is it just the texture that's different?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
You know, you get these guys.
There's no
OB.
lips and buttholes in there though, like
No.
there is with ground beef.
True story. Good morning, OB. He's out in California, man. It's early out
It
there.
is early out there. Jeff
Appreciate
Finley, good
you,
morning.
brother.
Joel Gomez
I
checking
saw
in.
Jeff Finley yesterday. He's adding on. He's got a beautiful shed. No, it's not a shed. It's not really a barn. It's a metal building, right? I don't
Yep.
call that a
shop.
shop. There you go. Thank you. It's a shop that's big enough to hold a fifth wheel, though. You know, he's got his trailer in there.
Yeah, kind of like
And,
Junior Samples.
Yeah. And he's adding on to it, and just to have that skill to be able to put down a footer and then attach, studs and all that, it's over my pay grade. I can't do it. I just don't. But it helps that he's got a big, he's got one of those things.
That helps.
That helps. If I had the tools, if I had a hammer, he's got an air hammer.
Still get nothing done.
I'd get nothing done. I'd just sit there and look at it, scared. I'd be scared.
Scared you're going to shoot yourself?
Some people just have that ability, and my father-in-law's that guy. Joey,
my dad was that guy.
Joey's
is
talking
that
about
guy.
he's like, I don't know, but I got a cutting torch, and next thing sparks are flying, and the hair on his arms is on fire, and he doesn't care. I'm out there going, ouch, I got a blister.
Nail gun. Thanks, Junior.
Thank you, Junior.
Scott Tompkins says ground venison or wild hog makes great chili.
But when you see people that make chili like in the chili world cook-offs. They're like, this is Wagyu beef buttholes, and we grind it up extra fine. You know, it's a well-marbled butthole. It's like, just I can make a pot of chili in a hurry that people go, wow, that's good. Get my onions, get my onion, and get my. Now that's something I can probably do better than Jeff Finley, just being honest.
Garlic?
Yeah, well, just my garlic and my, that's the little tablet. My garlic, my onion, and my jalapenos, get that going, and then add my meat and get that going.
And then let it stew in the grease.
Oh, the grease
chili
is
powder.
The key. The orange grease is it. But yes, I don't use a chili mix. Chili, I use,
Chili powder.
yeah, cumin, and I put in a little garlic.
I go
powder.
easy on the cumin. I'm not a big cumin fan.
You just got to have a little bit to make it chili.
Because a lot of it, it's kind of like oregano or thyme in like Italian recipes. You can kill.
Right.
I think I've stopped using oregano in my spaghetti sauce. I just don't like it.
Yeah. And Junior's right. My father-in-law also calls me Blister. He says Brent shows up after all the work is done. But you let that chili go just for a little while, and it gets to where it's bubbling like lava, and then all you're doing is cooking it down to where it's got the right consistency.
And then I open up my can of kidney beans and dump those in.
I know that you're just leading me down softball lane there, but I don't like. There's chili, and there's chili with beans.
Yep.
I mean, there's nachos, and there's nachos with guacamole.
Well, when I grew up a poor black child in Tupelo, Mississippi,
right.
That was how you made the chili go further. You added beans because you only had so much meat, and when you had a family of 20 to feed, the beans stretched it out.
So what you do now is you just make a pot of beans and go, that's chili.
That's
just
chili.
Ain't no meat in it.
Yeah, no, it's vegan chili.
That's right.
That's
Aunt Betty says,
it.
I got to stay up late to watch Rangers
It wasn't that
celebrate.
late. It was over at 10 o'clock.
Don't. Aunt Betty's in her 80s. But what's beautiful is Aunt Betty is acting like she reports to somebody. Aunt Betty, you can stay up any time you want. You're the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
But Will Vincent doesn't like kidney beans.
No. Big recall of eye drops.
This is scary, folks. This lets
because
you know.
it took a while, and there's been no reports of any injuries or blindness, but the FDA announcing a recall of 26 over-the-counter eye drops.
Tells you they're all made at the same lab and
Probably
put in different bottles. That's what it is.
CVS, Target, Rite Aid were the understore brands that, but apparently the manufacturing facility tested positive for some bacteria in some critical drug production areas.
There you go.
And so they've had to recall them. They were sold under brands CVS Health, Rite Aid, Target, Up and Up, Leader, Rugby, and Velocity Pharma. So no reports of any injuries, but apparently they didn't catch this for like about a month or so.
That's scary.
Yeah.
So my
people
cousin-in-law,
lucky.
Aunt Betty's daughter, Leslie, is married to Craig, and Craig is a judge. He goes around. He's like a real judge, not like a county judge.
Yeah.
Like a real judge. Goes around
Judging people.
not really, but throwing out the law and making sure the law is adhered to. He says chili with beans is not chili, and he's a judge. He's qualified to make. You can object, but you'll be overruled because he's the judge.
He's a chili judge?
He's a chili judge, which is just one of the many roles when you live in a town like Plainview, Texas. He also delivers a baby or two and, whatever it takes. Justice of the peace. That guy dead. I'll see you in court. He does whatever it takes in Plainview. But he must really, there's two things you should know. He must really feel strongly about that to admit that he listens to our program.
True enough.
One thing. Because he's highly educated and a really quality guy. And number two, he and I share a Rangers moment together. Craig, Judge Craig, and my dad, and my cousin Mark, who lives in Corpus, and I were at the Kenny Rogers, not country sing concert, Kenny Rogers' perfect game at the ballpark at Arlington.
That's cool.
Yeah, together. Yeah. It was about the 8th inning. My dad goes, I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but there's not a lot going on that score line over there.
You didn't want to say it to jinx him, right?
Oh, yeah, sure enough, man. Perfect game.
Probably thought it was just a no-hitter at the time, right?
Absolutely, but just perfect.
Yeah. So Budweiser trying, Anheuser-Busch trying a whole bunch of different things.
Oh,
right?
I read that article. Bless his heart.
Bud Light sales are down 25%.
Don't think your vote in the marketplace doesn't matter, folks. If you decide to be adamant and to protest something in the name of your principles, it matters. And right here, this is one of the behemoth corporations on the planet. And their CEO has said, I didn't sign off on that ad campaign. And they have polled, Ash. I actually read this article for you.
I appreciate that because I haven't. I've just seen some other things regarding Bud Light.
Folks, they polled 260,000 Bud Light drinkers, former Bud Light drinkers, to find out this. Bud Light people don't want politics involved in their beer. Quote, they want you to talk about sports and family and having fun and the taste of beer. They don't want you to talk about politics. And if you read down, go down and find his statement, because he basically says, we want you back. Bud Light was the #1 selling beer on the planet. And by the way, it is not a huge selling beer in Europe. So Americans
were drinking Bud
that
Light.
marketplace, folks. Americans drove that marketplace. The #1 selling beer on the planet.
Yeah, their CEO says he now understands what lapsed customers want from their former beer, according to this article in The Street. Quote, consumers continue to want the Bud Light brand to concentrate on the platforms that all consumers love, and we are doing just that through investing in partnerships with the NFL, Fields of Honor, news platforms, college football, and they recently announced a return to partnering with the UFC. 2, they want Bud Light to focus on beer.
There you go.
They want that beer without a debate. We are taking that feedback and working hard toward our consumers' business every day across the world.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to extrapolate. And that's too much of a word.
So there you go.
Sports can learn the same thing. People want to drink beer to relax, be among friends. They don't want to make a political statement when they drink beer. They don't want to have a beer in their hand and have people go, oh, so you like that Dylan Mulvaney guy? Well, who's Dylan Mulvaney? 90% of America would still ask, who is Dylan Mulvaney? But they don't want to be associated with the debate in their beer. Guess what? Professional sports should learn the same message. I don't need your BLM logo at the end of the basketball court. Now, I may be on the short side of this group, but that's one of the reasons I quit watching the NBA. I got tired of, the logos on the shirt saying white people are bad. I got tired of it. That was the overall message of the NBA. White people are bad. While they're, beholden to China.
It's taken 3 and 4 years for the NFL to get some of their fans back.
No doubt.
Or longer in the Colin Kaepernick debacle, which
was all orchestrated by Nike. That's what nobody understands.
Yeah.
Nike used the NFL like a tied-up goat just to further their ad campaign. It's the exact same thing. I can go back and show you, many of you will remember, when Tiger Woods got in so much of a brouhaha with a guy named Fuzzy Zeller. Fuzzy Zeller had come out and said, look, they were going to have the Masters dinner and the winner, which Tiger won the thing like 5 times, the winner gets to pick the meal. And Fuzzy Zeller, being Fuzzy Zeller, just popped off. Should he have done it? Maybe not. Maybe not. He had a drink in his hand when he did it. They caught him off guard, and Fuzzy said, well, I hope he doesn't serve fried chicken and watermelon, and everybody laughed. I was told later by a PGA Tour player that Tiger Woods laughed because he knew Fuzzy. They were friends. Nike seized on that moment. Tiger Woods does not have a comment at this time. Tiger Woods, highly offended by the racial overtones of Fuzzy Zoeller's comments, blah, blah, blah. And everybody on the tour knew that it was all a ruse. Everybody knew that Tiger wasn't offended by Fuzzy Zoeller.
People were offended on behalf
Fuzzy
of Tiger.
Zoeller lost his sponsorship by Kmart. Fuzzy Zoeller was taken
Probably
off.
a good move in retrospect,
Probably.
since Kmart then.
But you know what? That's because America responded. But Fuzzy ends up getting taken off the air with his fishing show, all these different things. And it basically made the man a recluse. Over nothing. Over an impromptu comment that was not meant to offend anybody and did not offend the person that it was directed to.
Jared McCurgan says politics could bring them back if they had an ad with Spuds McKenzie knocking Joe Biden down with a beer can to the forehead.
I agree with that. I still don't know where we're at.
Torrin Bales, good morning. Katina Arterberry, Tom Price, Frank Mejia checking in. Scott Tomko says, never seen politics in whiskey, so drink more whiskey.
So Craig says, hey, I'm glad you remember the night of the perfecto. He said, also, John Schmaltz woke up this morning and explained how the Diamondbacks can still come back and win the World Series. There's educated people that feel like Schmaltzy goes a little too far in his. He's trying to keep you interested in the game because let me tell you, I think when the numbers come out, you're going to find
this was not a
this
very
was
well
not
watched.
a very well watched World Series
outside of Dallas Metro and Phoenix Metro.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
about
watched
6 million people a night.
I mean, you're a baseball fan and you didn't watch.
I didn't watch it.
No. Steve Kidder says taste of beer is going to be a really short conversation, and that's why I've never drank Bud Light. I don't. Of the 3 light beers, I prefer Miller Lite.
There you have it.
I've never been one, and that's the other interesting thing with the Bud Light thing, right? Think about it for a second. It was never an organized, orchestrated boycott. The folks did it on their own individually.
Yeah.
There was no nationwide movement urging people to boycott Bud Light because of what they did. Beer drinkers said individually en masse, we're done with you.
And so many people, I've been so many places where folks have said they're out of beer. I mean, they've still got Bud Light, but nobody's drinking it.
Well,
I've heard that.
And the
so
other
many
interesting
times.
thing is Anheuser-Busch, they're down 25% in sales. Their stock has taken a hit. But distributors, I've heard, have been paid so much incentive to keep stocking the beer because they were getting hurt.
Yeah.
But those incentives are going to run out, which means distributors may end up having to cut jobs because some idiot marketing person who decided to run with a campaign that apparently nobody really approved or had a clue.
It was that lady who has taken a extended leave of absence.
So this could impact your neighbors who stocked the Bud Light because, well, when they're not moving Bud Light, they don't need as many people to deliver beer.
That's exactly right. Steve Kidder says numbers are already out. Games 2 and 3 were the least watched World Series of all time in the TV era. Right?
Yes.
Because, I mean, you know, back in
Before
the day,
that, they were just,
there were some
if you had
Yankee games.
50,000 people in the
That's
stadium, that was it.
That was it.
That's all that saw it. The rest of you had to listen.
Aunt Betty said I missed the point. She actually got to stay up and celebrate until midnight. Which by the way,
who was she celebrating with? Herself?
I don't know, but she didn't celebrate the way that the Canadians celebrate because she's up at 7.
Yes. No.
Canadians would celebrate, and you'd find them in the yard.
We'd
the next
still be
morning.
up right now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't
we're
be
still
upright,
celebrating.
but you'd be awake. Yes.
Scott Tomko says he knows a couple of guys that quit drinking Bud Light that had to account for about 10% of that drop.
Right.
You know, and then others, I know
That's
they
pretty
didn't
funny.
care. They kept drinking. It didn't matter. You know what? I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and a couple of guys were talking, and they were talking about, you know, how everybody, the media celebrates Lizzo as you know, epitome of beauty, right?
Right.
So he goes, you know, I told this woman she was pretty like Lizzo, and she got mad at me.
Is that right?
And the other guy on the podcast goes, yeah, I told this girl she was pretty, like Dylan Mulvaney, and she got mad at me.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, and his point was women are getting mad because Dylan Mulvaney is supposed to be the epitome of a beautiful woman, and he's not a woman. And so you compare a woman to Dylan Mulvaney, and she gets mad at you. That's the idiocy of the times we live in right now, folks.
Well, it's like that picture you got. It said, no matter what you do to it, people will always know it used to be a Pizza Hut. You can see the red roof in your mind. It's so you can turn it into a house if you want, but it was a Pizza Hut.
Frank Mejia says Modelo, baby. I like Modelo. I do.
Yeah, and by the way, it really took over quick, which is probably also owned by InBev.
It is, yeah, it
Same
is.
company
Yeah.
making money.
Yeah.
Frank Mejia, Yankee season.
But they had
starts
market
tomorrow.
share
Yeah,
across all of them, right?
that's right.
So
Jasmine just texted us back and let us know that Mike Posey's providing the meal at
there you go.
that Christian concert and dinner. That's a winner. You're always looking for something to do as a family.
Yeah.
That's a winner. Get over there and enjoy some Christian music and a concert. Palace Bingo, we did that. How about Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300.
Give them a call
Alan,
if you need them.
That's like Jim Nance. Hello, friends. You can become a cartoon character of yourself if you oversell that. We coined that, Allen's Wrecker Service.
We don't ever oversell it, though. They just do a great job.
578-6300. Let Allen be your go-to toe-to. They're the nicest folks, easiest to deal with. So many of these wrecker services, and I'm not even saying local, but just so many in general, they end up with a real bad reputation for, well, we did tow your car, but there's a $900 a minute storage fee. And they've got all these crazy rules and stuff. Just call Allen, ask him what you need. If you need a vehicle delivered from here to wherever,
Corpus,
they can do it.
They can do it.
They've got an office in Refugio. They've got trucks on the ground in Goliad right now, in Gonzales. They're all over when you need them. They're a big regional carrier. Reach out to them. The VCS companies.
Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer.
Yeah, body cams, two-way radios, CB radios, Breaker 1.
Gates for your farm and deer leases.
Negative, Pig Pim. Need you to back off another 20. Reach
can
out to
do
the
it all.
VCS
Yeah.
companies. They'll help you with all your communication
Give
needs.
J.R. Hartman a call. They'll do it all.
Chestnut Furniture.
116 West Swan Lynn, well over 100 years. They've been in business supplying Victoria and the Crossroads
You
furniture
walk
to make
in,
your house a home.
There's just recliner row. I mean, they have recliners that border on being love seats. They've got their oversized
Well,
recliners.
you know why?
For the big butt,
Yep.
big butt dad.
You can't find recliners like that in Europe.
Oh, but they're right. Try to get in there. Need to get some Vaseline to get into your
Yep.
chair. But Chestnut Furniture Company's got them all, and they will deliver them today.
KY Chair Lube.
Right? Reach out. Yeah, Jasmine says she appreciates us. Jasmine, we appreciate
We
you.
already
God bless.
talked about Veracruz. Get in there today. The full meal, the full menu minus the
There you
caldo
go.
is there today.
Oh, goodness. Frankly, this
Yep.
season starts today, 2024 World
Yeah,
Series
no,
champs.
the
I don't
Yanks
think
will
so.
not be,
Yankees
sir.
won't
No.
be back. They're done.
Yeah, no, ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
So
Here's and this got me. The Victoria Symphony sells Bud Light, and it doesn't sell Miller Lite. Junior Samuels
they do
ain't
sell
going to
Miller
no
Lights.
Symphony.
I think he went once.
Oh goodness! They probably asked him not to come back.
Probably not. Probably not.
Oh.
So, yeah, the Rangers. I guess they were the Washington Senators, were they not?
Mhm.
Started off there in 61. So that ends the longest drought, I believe, in Major League Baseball without a World Series.
I mean, congrats to the Rangers.
Yep.
You know,
No,
you got to be proud for
Yep,
them.
yep.
I want them to.
Meanwhile, the
I-
Astros update brought to you by First State Bank. The Astros offseason begins today.
Yeah, and there's a lot
It
of
is.
questions. They're close to the salary cap. They've got about $9 million there. With the major league deal, they've got like another $43 million to spend. I think they need to go get one big starting pitching arm.
Well, if they get Luis Garcia back, they get McCullers back.
I figured
it
out
might
why
be all right.
I figured out why they're still spending time on McCullers. He made $17.5 million this year. He makes the same next year, and the year after that. So they're like, "Hey, you keep working out. If we can ever use you, we'll get you back."
Because, to be honest, that's if he comes back healthy
He's good.
and he's good, that's pretty good value. Absolutely.
I find it interesting that The Astros, they're fairly well set, so you're still looking at.
Already talked, though, that, Michael Brantley won't be back.
No, next
Jake
year's
Myers
outfield,
is probably moving on.
Dubon, so it'll be like this. Right field will be Tucker, Dubon will be in center, and
McCormick probably
will be in left.
in center as well. Well, no, I think you're going to have Jordan.
Those two.
Jordan in left.
He'll DH.
And DH him, but there's talk that if they want to go get another outfielder, already Lourdes Gurriel Jr. from Arizona,
Made
formerly
a nice
Toronto.
catch last night. Nice catch on the run.
That I believe he's a free agent and might be available. So there you go.
And he's family.
So that'd be an interesting
You
call.
know, how much do you think, and I'd be curious y'all's input too, because we've all watched it. Before I gave up on the NBA, I was a big Spurs fan. And I loved, and a lot of the personality attributes that I ascribe to the former Spurs, the Tony Parkers, Tim Duncans,
David Robinsons.
they were based on the HEB commercials. I gathered my opinion of them, their interaction. I make the assumption that they were friends away from the game.
All the way up. All the way up.
Whether they were or not, they came off on television as a family. By the way, so do the Astros. You've seen the commercial with Bregman and Altuve. That's a no parking zone except for Tuve and
Tucker
Jeremy
and
Pena and
Pena.
Tucker. And they're all buddies, and they're all cutting up, and they're all having a good time.
Ricky King says, do you think Martin Maldonado will be back? I think in an ideal
bench coach.
situation, he comes back, but he is clearly defined in the role as the backup catcher
Yes, yeah. Diaz needs to be
to
named
Diaz.
the starter.
Yeah, and he mentors him so he
Yes.
learns to handle pitchers a little bit better.
Does he still catch for Verlander?
Maybe that. Well, I mean, that's every 5 days.
Yeah.
That would be a good spell
And-
for
and that's
for
the day
for Diaz.
Alvarez DHs.
Yeah.
Or Diaz DHs. But the Astros come off as familial, as a friendly group, a group that all gets along.
And you know what's interesting? When a lot of Spurs fans kind of quit with the Spurs was when Greg Popovich started spouting off his political views. People
liberal
knew
stuff.
that already, but they were willing to overlook it.
Yeah.
The Spurs lost a lot of fans in this area when Greg Popovich started spouting off his anti-Trump rhetoric and his political views.
Yeah.
And they got to work hard to get him back.
So,
And I liked
finishing that
watching the
up,
Spurs.
Where are we with this Rangers team? They may be super nice people. You know, Garcia, if Adolis Garcia played for the Astros,
We'd love him.
we would love him.
And the only reason
and they
we
would
hate
tell
him
him to tone it down.
And the only reason we hate him, he got in a dust up with Hector Neris. Or no, who was it? Wasn't Neris, was it?
No, it was Abreu.
Abreu, yeah. So
But
Chesley Gobars is a former San Antonio Rez. Long life Spurs fans. Those guys were family. Wemby's the hope to restore that. I like that.
I
kid.
don't
He's been
disagree with
pretty
you
good.
at all. But I guess where I'm going is, how do we get that, or is it important to have that feel-good feeling going forward about the Rangers? Are they just an assemblage of ball players? Are they just a group of guys that don't speak the same language?
No, they look pretty good. Like they look like a pretty good team.
Good.
So, yeah, no, absolutely. So, let's see what else is happening this morning that we can discuss. Federal judge signaled that she's open to postponing Donald Trump's classified documents trial. U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon says that Special Counsel Jack Smith's team is ignoring unavoidable realities and forcing Trump and his attorneys to prepare for 2 federal criminal trials at once, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal. So that's interesting. I don't know how that'll impact things.
I don't know. Where does that all go? I mean, if the guy gets elected, does he pardon himself?
Which state is it? Colorado's trying to use the 14th Amendment to get him off the ballot, but he hasn't been charged with insurrection. So how can you? A, he hasn't even been charged. B, he's not even been found guilty of insurrection.
Right.
Nobody on January 6th, despite the BS rhetoric from the Democrats, has ever been charged with insurrection.
Nor have all of this. It was a well-planned and well-executed attack on democracy. Nobody's ever even presented one laptop as evidence that, like, here's what we're going to do. There was never an organized effort to do anything.
Steve Kidder says, what about the Chinese AI story? You know, this one's interesting because yesterday, and I think I sent the story to you, and let me try to find it real quick, because or maybe it was Monday. Joe Biden signed an executive order concerning AI. Listen to some of this stuff.
Here we go. Hold on, folks.
On Monday, President Joe Biden signed the executive order, the Safe, Secure, and Trustworthy Development and Use of Artificial Intelligence.
Now, the government's going to tell you how to develop an open marketplace. Okay, well, good.
Not only that.
Good morning, Sheriff Louderback.
Yeah, the order addresses several components regarding AI implementation, putting safety first. What the hell does that mean?
Well, you've got to wear fire-retardant clothing while you work on AI.
Yeah. The executive order requires AI system developers who could impact national security to notify the federal government when training the model and share their safety test results. They say the safeguard will ensure the systems are secure, trustworthy, and safe before they become available to the public. Meanwhile, we gave Chinese researchers millions of dollars to develop AI over here, and then they took it all and ran back to China to an institute near the Wuhan. The Wuhan plays a huge role in all of the things happening in China.
Why is the Wuhan such an epicenter of what's going on?
I don't know, but it seems to be. That must be where they have all their biolabs and all their spy stuff.
Scott Tomko with tongue firmly in cheek adds, Kamala has the lead on AI. That's under control now. Kamala's got the lead on the border. Cackling Kamala. You know, she said
Biden
she was going to stay and run.
Yeah.
This is further proof. She was going to stay and run, right? We're going to finish the job. We're going to finish the job. When was the last time Joe said that?
None.
He hadn't said it. Joe Biden will not be the Democrat nominee in 2024.
Was it Sunday on 60 Minutes, I think? She made a weird statement that Joe Biden's very much still alive.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
That's so comforting.
Yeah.
World markets trend, sadly, on the health and vitality and cognizance of our leadership.
Yeah. The Biden administration is one of the main risks with AI is inadvertently risking American citizens' private data. Equity and civil rights, part of the executive order as well. The White House acknowledged that algorithmic discrimination could occur. And a study by Stanford researchers found that chatbots and AI features are perpetuating racism. What's interesting with AI, though, in order to get outputs, you have to have inputs, right? So if this administration...
Garbage in, garbage out.
Nobody has concerns about what this administration is going to deem to be the things that can go into the algorithms to determine the outputs of AI? Does anybody really want, and regardless of which side of the political spectrum are you on, does anybody really want the government controlling
anything?
The data that goes in to determine what comes out? I don't.
Like Junior adds, the people creating AI are the same ones making the rules about how to control it.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it.
And then they're going to want to find a way to tax it. And then it's going to be their product, not ours. You didn't do that. We did that.
Sheriff Louderback, good morning.
You need to...
we need to do this.
Oh, man, Para Vida.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, yesterday I had the carne asada with the rice and beans. I think I was trailing you on that one by a day. Fantastic.
I had the...
You know what was on the bottom of that box? I ate it. I was full. It had rice, it had charro beans, and it had carne asada. Flavorful, even spicy. I enjoyed it.
I had the
190 calories.
I had the pork medallions with zucchini and hatch green chili polenta, which is basically Italian grits.
Afterbirth?
And
that's
no,
placenta.
that's placenta.
Okay.
Yeah. And boy, and I'm not a big polenta fan, but man, this it was really good.
Let me tell you,
I threw a little bit of crystal hot sauce in the polenta.
I ate that carne asada and part of my right forearm and still didn't have but 300 calories.
There you go.
And I think this is going to heal. Mostly I just gnawed on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the twin chicken wing bone.
Yeah, it's like a flat. Yeah. I ate a flat.
That's exactly
my
what you ate
forearm.
with my forearm.
190 calories.
You skip leg day and forearm day.
Fat man like me could starve to death. Paravita, though, you won't starve. Get in, get healthy. The food's fantastic. And tell them Wade and Carter sent you. Get a 10% discount if you haven't gone by for lunch. Let me tell you, if just half of you that are listening, we talked about a movement, we talked about Bud Light. If half of you that are listening went by Paravita once a week, number one, you'd be healthier, and number two, Erica Briggs would be thrilled. So go by there and have lunch. It's right there on Airline, near the corner of Airline and Laurent.
Yeah, because you can eat in.
Oh, you can go in there. They'll heat it up for you right then.
I've found, depending on the dish, 3 minutes at 70% power or 3.5.
That's right. Straight out of the fridge, I'll do it like 3 minutes at 0.7. It's good to go. White Trash Services, 550-1826. Get by for weekly pickup, dumpsters, roll-offs, demo services.
They'll get by. You don't have to get by. They'll get by and pick up your trash weekly, and they can provide dumpsters, roll-offs.
Take your trash by White Trash.
Tell you what, those dumpsters are great, and you can really – the fun part is you get on top of all that, and you just start jumping and packing it down.
Absolutely. Do that. USA Concrete Coating. We're going to bring you some more pictures soon of Junior Sample's house. That's just one example. They can polish concrete and seal it, but they can also put down a tough as nails
polyurethane coat.
It won't crack, stick, peel, or fade right around your pool deck, patio,
4 times stronger than anything else.
Driveway, stronger than titanium. Stronger than the iPhone 15.
You seen these companies popping out, telling them they'll put epoxy down? Give USA Concrete Coating a call.
Epoxy's old school.
578 Homes, the number to call.
Might as well get a bunch of tubes of caulk and trowel that out there. Went Services, turnkey generator service. This time of year, you're going to want to have it. The grid is under duress. You need that grid. The grid is on fire. Anyway, reach out to Went Services.
We don't need the water.
Let it go. Let it go. There's no good way to end that verse. Went Services for all your generator needs. Let them do it. Get over there and let's get the brother man some FaceTime because you know that he's the king. He is the king. It's just the way it is. We love you, boss. And
all right.
Unlike the Drifters, when you join them on stage, Ash and I are going to turn your mic up. when you
Did you hear anything?
When the brother man got up and sang "Stairway to Heaven" the other night,
the band needed to pee.
The band
was old.
They went to the bathroom. He's up there crooning away, and there's nothing coming out of the microphone. Do you remember the old Andy Griffith deal where Barney just could not carry a tune?
I remember it
and
well.
They put the guy behind the curtain
10 times
with the big baritone, and Barney was like,
lower.
just singing.
Ricky King says he had the lasagna from Paravita, and it was really good.
Oh, it's all good.
There you go.
That's right.
Judge Posey says good morning to you.
Hey, Judge. Love you, sir.
They said, and they kept saying, no, Barn, this is a super sensitive microphone. Sing lower.
Lower.
You remember at the end when his hair was all over his face because he thought he had nailed it. He sounded like an opera star.
Yeah.
That is still the best.
Andy
Those
Griffith.
episodes.
Come on.
Just
Black
good,
and white, buddy. It was
good,
good
clean
back then.
family
Come on,
fun.
man. Come on.
Rat Patrol.
Oh, I love that too. Combat.
Combat was
good.
What do you got for us, brother?
All right, brother. Here we all mentioned about the concert in Edna on Saturday. That was a good one. Victoria Go Texan Banquet. You going tonight? You're going.
I'll be there.
Okay. Scholarships for kids tonight at the community center, not at Spring Creek, at the community center. Put that one down tonight. The Victoria Duck Safari, Saturday.
Ethel Lee Tracy, right?
Ethel Lee Tracy. Jerry James going to be playing 12 to 3. We're going to
Can we
find out.
pick a winner?
We're going to. Well, I'll tell you what. I got some in there. 5,000 to the winner.
There you go.
2,500 second place. And Victoria East and West tomorrow night. East, now, ladies and gentlemen, East, if they win second place, they get a home game in the playoffs.
Wow.
If they win. If West wins, and I've been at both campuses, if West wins, 3-way tie. And then I don't know how they go about it, Ash. Probably flipping the coin.
I don't know how the
if
tiebreaker
East wins, home game in the playoffs. If West wins, 3-way tie, and neither team makes the playoffs.
Right. And that's what go.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Doggone it, man.
Come on, West. Help us out a little bit.
Right. All right, here we go.
Lose.
Right. Kansas State at Texas, and Texas is -4, 49.5 the over/under.
23 ranked Kansas State
Correct.
Wildcats. K-State could be
A trap game.
a trap game.
They're very, very
Yep.
good.
It's in Texas.
In-
It's
in
in
Austin.
Austin. That
Austin.
helps. But that 4-point spread for the home team, it's not
That's,
much.
it's going to be
No,
close.
that's the bookies telling you that
They
that
think this could be
it's
an
not
upset.
It's not
Yeah.
a touchdown home.
No, it's home. It's
Texas
close.
should win the game, though, right? And
I'm
they
taking
should.
Texas out cover 4 point. We're going to win by a touchdown. What do you think?
Okay,
sir?
I'll
Boys?
go with that.
Yeah,
The homer
we all
inning-
take Texas.
Angela already hit. He said best of five game. I mean best of
Oh,
7.
he
5.
nailed that. By
He
the way,
hit Texas on the
congratulations, partner, on nailing that
On the
World
head. You
Series
nailed
in
it on the
5.
head, buddy.
People
I had
act like
6.
that's flipping. I know you thought about it. He looked at pitching rotations and all that.
I
and
said
he's
6.
right.
You and I said 6.
Yep.
All right. And we got
A&M on the
Texas.
road at Ole Miss.
-3.
A&M's the favorite.
Ole Miss is number 10.
No, Ole Miss is number 10. They're -3. Ole Miss.
I mean, I think I'm sorry. They're going to Ole Miss. I had on my prediction this year, and it has followed true, that that they would
they're
lose to
5 and
one of the
3 right
Mississippi
now.
schools, and I think this year that Mississippi school is going to be Ole Miss.
Mississippi's tough, and at home they're tough.
Both those games are at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Texas is on Fox.
Okay.
And Ole Miss is on or the Ole Miss A&M games on
They're
ESPN.
both going to be
so you're
good
see all
games.
those.
That's both evenly matched 4 teams there. Two.
I'll take Ole Miss.
So we're in agreement.
We are
no
all in
controversy.
agreement. No conflict for all of
Miss,
us.
But I like to see A&M beat them. Because they're home, Ole Miss, 3-point favorite. They gave them the 3 because they're home. That's it.
Are we not following Baylor anymore out of respect for B Small? Is Baylor playing?
Probably, but do we need to?
I don't know.
They're on the
Let's
top
just
25.
say
I
you
mean,
call
Call
it. but
You call it.
all right, let's
Neither
see.
is A&M.
Yeah, but
All
this,
right, let
you
me-
got a lot of
let me-
We
Aggie
got a lot of
listeners
Aggie
here.
fans.
Man,
Thank you.
got a
And
lot
we
of-
appreciate our Aggie
Yeah.
listeners. Wait, say, we
Appreciate
appreciate our Aggie
I love the Aggies.
listeners.
We can't go against all those Aggie buddies.
Houston's at Baylor. I don't know the spread on this one, brother. Do you?
What's the over and
I do
under on
not.
turnovers
I do
and
not.
penalties?
Houston's at Baylor. Houston's been tough, but Baylor.
Let's see what I can find out here. Houston's picked to win.
Okay.
Where's the spread? Baylor's -4.
Because they're home. That's it.
There you
But
go.
but ESPN matchup predictor gives UH the edge. I think UH wins that game.
I'd like to see how the ESPN matchup predictor has done over
yeah,
the
I don't
course
know.
Yeah,
of the
right,
year.
right.
That'd be interesting to see. That would be
Right.
interesting to see. Let's take a look at the rest of the Big 12 because I know there's still some OU fans.
Yeah,
around. We don't
oh,
have
yeah.
to pick the game, but OU, who do they have this weekend? They've got
number
Oklahoma
9.
State.
I think
Oklahoma
OU's
State's going to
be.
be, I
It
think,
could be a good game, but I like OU in that game.
OU because they lost last week. They're coming back.
Tonight, Texas Tech hosts TCU. Should be a good game. So it'll
Yeah.
be on Fox
Texas
Sports 1
Tech.
tonight. So,
I like to see Texas Tech
yeah. So
win one.
Patrick Mahomes playing for them?
They'll win. They'll win.
not
When-
yet.
if I told you to name 5 things about Patrick Mahomes, number 1, you couldn't.
Dad was a pitcher.
But
Good
you
good
even-
guy.
Yeah. Worth $1 billion.
I'm not sure he overwhelmed at Texas Tech.
He did it. I mean, it's almost which is
But
worse, what Mahomes didn't
Texas Tech
do at
wasn't that-
Tech or what
Yeah.
Johnny Football didn't do at A&M.
Yeah, Texas Tech was not a top-notch football team at that time when he was there.
No, but he
He won some games, buddy,
I mean,
with
he
that
could,
arm.
He could wing it. Hats off to Tech for having that.
And here's the thing. I don't know that Cleveland would have been any better. Was Mahomes
With
that
the
same
Mahomes.
draft year?
Yeah. Kansas
I think
City's
so.
I don't know. But
shine.
it doesn't matter. Cleveland would have been Cleveland without
All right, y'all
Manziel
ready for the
anyway.
pros?
mention that.
Y'all ready for the pros, boys?
Yes, sir. Give me
Bucks
the pros.
at Texans. Let's go that first. Bucks at Texans. Texans at home, -3. I'll take
You
it.
know, they gave Carolina their first win last week.
I lost it in the last play of the ball game. Field goal, right? Last
Yeah, but they just didn't score.
No. Carolina was at home. That hurt. They're 3
You
and
like-
4.
I'm going to go with the Texans just
I'm
out of
going
respect
Texans.
for Steve Kidder.
Home, I'll give
Right.
it to them for home field advantage.
-3.
Both teams are 3 and 4. Both teams,
Talk about
play
a game
pretty good-
nobody watches.
yeah, no kidding. Both teams play pretty good defense. Both teams are pretty anemic in offense.
Yeah,
So
nobody's going to watch that game.
the one game that will be watched, the afternoon game, Dallas and the Eagles.
Cowboys at Philly,
I think Dallas wins that game.
3:30 game.
I think Dallas wins.
In Philadelphia.
-3.
That,
Philadelphia -3.
early in the season, Ash and I each had that as a loss for the Cowboys, but the Cowboys,
I'm
after they choked Dak had a really nice game last week, and the Eagles have kind of floundered of late. I think I like the Cowboys.
I'm
in
going
that game.
Cowboys. Philadelphia is the favorite, -3.
Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys.
Going
in that one.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
A real quick, Bobby Knight passed away yesterday.
Bobby
Saw that
Knight,
legendary
Heck of a
coach.
coach.
You know, beyond legendary, really a true a leader of college basketball for years and years.
Mentor
and
to Coach K
years. Absolutely.
at Army.
He was true. I liked him. You know, at Texas
He was
Tech.
fiery, passionate.
As long
His-
as you weren't a part of what
His
vented-
shtick wouldn't work these days. It
his
wouldn't be
vented anger,
acceptable.
as long as you weren't a part of the vented anger, you were
I
okay.
think a lot of what Bobby Knight did shaped the tenure of Coach Mike Smith. At
I think
Victoria
so.
High. I think.
You ever hear him give those speeches?
Oh, and I can. I heard those speeches.
Man.
I can remember Coach though. Coach wearing colorful, checked red and white jackets.
I saw
and,
it a number of
and,
times.
kicking chairs and doing
I
things.
saw
He was very
it.
fiery. Sideline guy. I loved Coach Knight throwing chairs onto the court, and I loved everything about his demeanor. I thought he was a quality
Yeah.
guy, and he had a nice tenure at Texas Tech,
He did.
where I thought he really I liked Coach Knight.
I was
And
a fan.
Indiana's
I was a
never
fan.
been the same since he
Well,
left.
he never went
No.
back to talk to them either after that.
Yeah.
They let him go. He never went back to Indiana. Never went back.
His feelings were hurt, and they kind of treated him
Feelings
wrong.
were hurt. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Remember that.
hockey half minute as we wrap up. Dallas Stars beat the Calgary Flames last night 4-3.
Go Stars.
There you
Go Stars.
Rest in peace, Coach
Yes.
Knight, brother
Y'all
man.
take care. Love
we
y'all. Thank you,
appreciate
boys.
you. Thanks for
And
being here.
Fun.
Hey guys,
We
have
gotta-
a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Well, I've been kicked out of my